There's just 3 of the younger lionesses down here at the moment. The rest of the pride is still very much fast asleep. She's now looks like, oh no, looked like decided to lie down. Don't think it'll be for too long. So have a look. It looks like there's going to be a bit of a game again there. So all this playing and stuff, specifically when the animals are younger, is really important. It's practice hunting, basically. You'll see how their paws come out to the side and try to trip each other. And that's all very good practice for when they are actually hunting, and also it helps affirm the social bonds in the pride. Lions, when they eat, can be very, very aggressive, and it's pretty much whoever you feed myself first, they'll literally fight, bite, scratch, claw, growl, snarl at each other. So these downtimes when they're not eating is very important. Playing and a lot of social contact between them, touching, and that helps reaffirm the relationships in the pride. Ooh. Uh-oh. As you can see, the bellies are still quite full, so they'll be quite content. No pressure to make a kill. All the birds have decided there's too many cats around here. So there was a heron, an Egyptian goose, and a saddle-billed stork, who have all decided that there are too many lions around here, and they've moved off. Having good fun with the roots that are going into the water. incredibly privileged to be able to share our passion for the wildlife and the African bush with everyone, all of you, all over the world. And we really do appreciate you guys watching and sending in your questions. So, just an update for anyone who's just logged in. We're sitting with the Nkahuma Pride of Lions. I think Mark found them yesterday morning. They killed a buffalo to the south of us, and they've still got they've got big fat bellies, and they're now in the early morning just sort of waking up. A couple of them are playing, the rest of the pride's still sleeping off the buffalo, and there's 3 younger lionesses here are playing a little bit, and because they've been on had such a big meal quite recently, I mean, since they were found yesterday morning, they haven't moved probably more than 100 meters this whole time. Good morning, Thelma in Michigan. Thelma, I haven't spent that much time with the Nkahuma Pride, so they were adults when I started here, but I'd say they were we've got the last litter, so maybe someone out there can help me and have a look and find out so how old the second last litter of Nkahuma cubs are. Oh, it's wonderful. And you can send those answers to questions at WildEarth.tv, or if you're on Twitter, just use the hashtag SafariLIVE. So if I had to wager a guess, Thelma, on those lionesses we're looking at, I would say they're probably around, difficult, between 3 and 5, but I'm not 100% sure. Good morning, Lucy from South Bend, Indiana. Lucy would like to know, do lions age in years like house cats do? Unfortunately, Lucy, I have no idea what years house cats age in. I don't actually know. Well, they've heard something. All their heads picked up and something. I can't see anything there. Maybe they just heard something in the block. There are a lot of other animals in this area, and this watering hole is frequented by buffalo and elephant. I've seen leopard here frequently as well. They're still showing a little bit of interest in what have made that noise. Nice cool morning. The males walking down. There's a young male here, about 2.5 years old now. You can see his mane starting to develop. He's going to be a good-looking boy by the looks of things, and quite a big lion as he grows up. Unfortunately for him, he's gonna get pushed out eventually. Have to go become nomadic, and when male lions get pushed out in this part of the world, they quite often will join up with other young male lions that have been pushed out. And they do this to form coalitions. It's easier from a hunting point of view, and it's easier from a survival point of view. There's a group of you, it's much easier to fight and defend yourself than if there's a single lion. And also, when they get to the edge to take over territories, it's much easier for a group of them to fight the dominant males than it would be for, say, a single lion. So now some of the older lionesses have got up and started moving, which is a general sign that they will move maybe for a little bit. Hopefully they stay on Juma. Just gonna go see what they're up to there. Oh, it looks like they might go down into the Mulwati drainage line. That could be very, very pretty. Such a beautiful part of the reserve. Dry riverbed. Oh, isn't that a stunning shot? Sorry, Brian. This with the big tree, the sun coming through and the lines underneath. That is a magic, magic shot. It's like, oh, we've got a bush in your way. Let me just go forward half a meter. You can actually see how cold it is in the morning. You can see the steam coming out of the lion's breath. Lions with silver linings. And you can hear the dawn chorus of birds. Oh, it's an absolutely spectacular morning. Let's go a bit closer and see what they're up to. I just couldn't resist it, sort of, with the big tree and the light and the backlighting. You can see the lion's breath. Oh, what a morning. Move a little bit. So, the majority of the pride have moved down to the riverbed. The young male, who you often find is always sort of just lagging behind a little bit. Good morning, Anne from Oregon. Anne would like to know, what would happen if this pride met up with another pride? Would they fight? Would they try to avoid each other? What happens when prides big is that they split into splinter groups, because it's oh, just hang on, just watch them playing for a second. Good morning, Virginia, on Twitter. With their sort of attack and grabbing the hind legs. She'd like to know, is this how lions generally take down prey? It is, Virginia. They would, on the smaller prey, they would sort of trip them, grab their back legs, and that's the way they would try to catch them. But with bigger prey, sometimes they would also go from behind, but they would try to anchor themselves on the back of something like a buffalo. Good morning, Lewis from Buffalo, New York. Lewis like to know whether males would have to fight to know what happens to a lion when it's injured, ill, or in more particular, if it doesn't have claws, would the other lions share the kills with them? I'm afraid not, Vicky. They wouldn't treat it any differently. They would still behave the same. They would eat as much as they could, and that lion would probably have to live off scraps. And as they get older, when they just can't keep up with the pride, they just get left behind, and eventually they are killed by hyenas or other lions. Good morning. Just in Kahumas, on the eastern bank of the Marawathi, 100 meters north of Twin Dams. And then I think Mlisikaya was active. Good morning, Donna from Missouri. I would like to know whether the cooler temperatures will affect the lions' eating habits. Will they eat more or less during the cool times? Well, Donna, not really. The lion has to eat the same amount to sort of survive, whether it's cool or hot. The thing is, in the cooler months, they are active longer, so there's sort of more scope to kills. But in terms of how much they eat, it doesn't really change throughout the year. Their prey selection much, like at this time of the year, we've got some of those big herds of buffalo in from Kruger and from other areas, and then they would sort of choose to eat buffalo. There are a lot of buffalo around, rather than maybe there's not so many buffalo herds around. They might eat more kudu, for example, but it all depends on prey availability. But the amount they eat it doesn't really change. So everyone, these lions are about to become flat cats. So we can stay here for a bit longer, or we can move on and see what else we can find. Why don't you guys let me know via Twitter or email. If you want to email, the email is questions@wildearth.tv. On Twitter, just use the hashtag SafariLIVE. To quote The Clash, should we stay or should we go? Sabera, one of our Zoomies, come over with us this morning. Ray said, could I elaborate on a lion's roar? Just watched a documentary. I said the roar is an indicator of health. I've never heard that before, and documentary, so I can't actually comment on that specifically. But what I can sort of watching lions for a long time, there was generally a territorial thing to male lions, so it's sort of towards the end, and are worried about younger males coming into their territory, quite often manage to chase off younger males just roaring a lot and make a noise. So there might be some, but I've never heard anything about that before. Maybe you could just pop a link or the name of that documentary on my Facebook, and I could research it at a later date. So also, when a lion roars, it can be heard from quite an incredible distance. With our very bad ears, I know I've heard in the Kalahari, you can probably hear them 10 to 15 kilometers away on a very still night, and that's with our terrible ears. Lion, it must, with their wonderful hearing, they must be able to hear it much further than that, maybe 20 kilometers plus and probably further, much further than 20 kilometers, a lion can hear. I'm not exactly sure what exact distance another lion can hear another lion, but I'm guessing quite far. Obviously, it also depends on the topography, how many hills and stuff like that for this to get stuck against. That's why in Kalahari, desert and the Makati region of Botswana was very, very flat, I think. And there's not a lot of big trees or hills. It will be heard from further than, say, here, where we've got quite a lot of undulation. So these lines look like that. I'm gonna look for the morning. So I think it's time to go see what else we can find. Goodbye, smelly cats. I don't think they're going to move too far from where they are now. They've got some nice shade on the eastern bank of the river. I think they're going to be pretty settled in this area for most of the day. They might possibly move back towards the water this afternoon as it gets It gets a bit cooler this evening. That is the closest water to them. There are some pans in this big block here, but I think that the Twin Dams is still the closest water for them. It's warming up quite nicely now. Time for the sugar to take a break. Also time to lose the mitts.